Hello everyone, my name is Michael Oliver, better known as Crimson Wolf Sam on YouTube. So, a few things before I get into this video. One, this is going to be very personal, so if I get a bit choked up or emotional over things, please be respectful and understanding. Secondly, this, for those of you who, don't believe in God, don't believe in Jesus Christ, for those of you who think, used to believe, and then because of certain events, I'm going to assume bad things that happen in your life, you stop believing, something horrible is going on, and you're thinking, man, I've been going to church every Sunday, I've been, praying and asking for forgiveness for my sins, I've been trying to get through this, but nothing is changing, my situation is changing, fuck it, how could a all-powerful, gracious God let this happen, whatever it is? Let me tell you something. I've been through some shit, and we're gonna go over this. Hopefully I've got everything written down, because I just kind of went over things very briefly. But trust me, he is there, okay? He is there, he hears you, it's just sometimes he does things for a reason, and at the time, you might not know. And I'll explain that. There's been plenty of times where things have happened and I have no idea why they happened, at the time. But now looking back, it's like, okay, I understand now. But anyways, hopefully this helps some people. This might end up being a long-winded video. Hopefully not. Hopefully not too long. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this started. So the first thing I want to go over is my birth, complications after the birth, and then, even before I was born, okay? Now, in my life, I have had two separate people that I have called mom, okay? The first one is the person that actually gave birth to me. Her name is Jennifer, okay? The second one is my adoptive mother, okay? And she is my mother for all intents and purposes. But before I was born, okay? Before I was born, my birth mother, Jennifer, she had my sister, and my sister is almost exactly 1 year older than me. Okay, so she's got close to a 1-year-old at home. And she decides it's a good idea to go out drinking. Okay, so she goes out and she does that. Now, I will say this: she did not know at first that she was pregnant with me. She did not know. So, I will give her leeway on that. It happened. It is what it is. But then the minute she found out that she was pregnant, she should have stopped. And I have been told multiple times by multiple separate people on different occasions that she was aware she was pregnant and she continued to drink. Okay? Now, I am not angry with her, at least not anymore. We'll get into that. But because of what she did, I was born prematurely. Okay? They had to do an emergency C-section, get me out, get me born. Here I am, right? It'd be a little baby, and I shit you not, I was as big as my hand from here to here. Okay? That's how big I was when I was born. It's ridiculous. All because she decided to drink. Now, I was not doing good. Okay, I was not doing good. I was dying. And my grandmother, being my grandmother, of course, very, very, very religious. She prayed. She got me baptized. I started getting better. Still on machines and everything, but I was getting better. That's the first thing. God saved me. Okay, and I do strongly believe that He did. Now, why? I don't know. I fuck up all the time. But He saved me. Okay? The doctors, they said, okay, he's fine, but he's going to be mentally retarded for the rest of his life. Not mentally retarded. Not the smartest person in the world, but I live a totally normal life. They said, okay, he's going to be paralyzed. Nope. I can walk around. No hindrances, no nothing. I have really no more side effects, at least not yet, from being born prematurely. And I was born in 1994. I don't know if y'all are aware, but the survival rate for preemies at that time was almost unheard of. Okay? It's not like today where preemies are born and it's all good and well and fine and they'll survive. No. Back then, that did not happen. So me being here is a miracle. And I cannot stress that enough. Okay? So, God saved me. Got me, good, and I'm here. So that happened, right? Now, through the early years of my life, probably till I was about 4 or 5, my birth mother was still in the picture, okay? And she did not do a lot of good things. She did not. When I finally got to come home, I was hooked up to a monitor. Okay? Hooked up to a monitor that monitored my breathing and my heart. Made sure everything was still, I was still breathing, heart was still going, and if for some reason it stopped, the machine would go off. Well, she turned it off, saying, oh, he doesn't need it. I would have died. Luckily, my godfather was there, and he got me and made sure I was alive, and then Dad got home, and things would get heated, of course. So that happened. I'm very blessed that my godfather happened to be there to make sure I, lived. But that's just like one thing, my birth parents, they did get a divorce. I mean, obviously, right? And Jennifer, she found another person named Mike. He twisted my arms, picked me up by the throat, did all sorts of stuff, hurt my sister. That was very, very hard. I mean, ridiculously hard. And at the time, I'm 3 or 4 years old. My sister is 4 or 5 years old. She's about a year older than me. I'm not going to get into too much detail on what my sister went through, because that's for her to share. It's not for me to be fucking thrown out there. Let's just say that some stuff happened to her, and it wasn't good either for her. Now, luckily, my dad and my stepmom, they fought for custody and everything, and they did eventually win. Surprisingly, that's also unheard of. And that, I still don't understand how she could give us up, because that's what happened. Jennifer gave me and my sister up. Okay, and when I was born, what she wanted to do was get rid of me and keep my sister. She full on went up to Dad and said, you know what, if you want to take Michael, I'll keep Carly. And Dad said, no, I want both of my kids, so I'm not doing that. Okay? So there's the whole custody battle. They won, but that's because Jennifer gave us away. She willingly gave me and my sister away. And I still do not understand how a parent can do that to this day. I just don't get it. So that happened, Dad and, at the time I called her Leanne, my mom now, they won custody. And I mean, shortly after that, Dad and Leanne, they called me and my sister in there and said, hey, do you want Leanne to adopt you? And I immediately was like, yes. Yes, I want that. Sister, yes, I want that. So, now, not only do I have a dad that loves me and somehow won a custody battle, which never happens. They always side with the mom for some reason, even if the mom is horrible, which in my case, she was. I'm not trying to speak ill of her, but it happened. But I also got a mom that loved me unconditionally like a mom should. And I am so blessed to have her in my life, and I've told her multiple times. I've told her so many times. I really have. So, I had to go through all the crap that I went through. Okay, all the crap. To get with my parents. Okay? My mom and dad, they love me very, very much. They love my sister very, very much. And I also got 2 brothers out of the deal. Because my mom had 2 brothers before she got with Dad. So, yeah, very, very, very good thing. God saw fit to bless me with that, and I'm very, very thankful. Okay? Now, go ahead and fast forward a few years. I want to say I was probably 8, 9, something like that. And I wasn't super religious. I mean, when I was younger, I went to church every single Sunday because my grandmother made me. They watched us a lot when we were younger because of all the custody stuff that was going on. And because Mom and Dad had to work a lot to help pay for the lawyer fees and all that junk. And Jennifer just didn't want to deal with us. She tossed us off on our grandparents all the time. So a lot of times we were with our grandparents, and that's on my dad's side. So they took us to church every Sunday, and I didn't have any say. It was, you're coming with me to church, and you're going to put up with it. That's how it was. So, I went to church. Well, like I said, about 8, 9, something like that, I start thinking about it, and I'm thinking, I went through all that crap. Yes, I'm better for it, but man, that sucked. And there's so much crap going on in the world. Why? Why is this happening? And so I sat down, talked with my dad, and he explained things through his point of view. And just like that, I was an atheist. And I said, there ain't no God. God would not allow that to happen to me. God would not put me through all of that. Why would he do that? That makes no sense. a mother's supposed to love her son unconditionally. She didn't. It fucking sucks. It really sucks. Y'all have no idea unless you've been there how much it hurts. Even today. It doesn't hurt as much, but it still hurts. So, I go from Catholic to atheist, like my father. Because I asked him, I was like, okay, well, why are you atheist? I'm trying to understand. So, he explained things. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't remember a whole lot of what he said, but it's basically the same thing you'll hear from pretty much anyone who doesn't believe. Things don't line up. There's no evidence. If there's such a just God, why are little girls getting raped and killed in the street? Why does this happen? Why is there rape? Why is there killings? Why are people thieving? All the bad stuff in the world. Why is all that happening if God is so just, or a just God would not let that happen? So, I was atheist. I was atheist for a long time after that. A long time. Well, jump forward a few more years. Okay? And at the time, I'm going to say I was 14, something like that, 13, 14, something like that. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, because I know my dad would not want this too public, but where he was working, they were doing illegal stuff. Like, illegal stuff. And he found out about it. He said, hey, y'all need to knock it off. Well, they started going after him, trying to find things to fire him. So he said, oh, really, motherfuckers? Okay, I'm going to sue y'all now. Watch this shit. So he starts trying to sue him. And Mom and Dad, they basically worked for the same person. They worked under the same individuals. So it affected Mom too, and Mom was like, fuck it, I'm gonna back Dad. So they're going at it, and through this whole thing, nobody shows up to back either my mom or my dad, except for one person. There's one person out of all these people that they thought were friends, and he backed up Mom and Dad. He left as well, but they ended up losing, because it just cost too much. They dropped it. Dad quit. Mom quit. They were out of work. Okay, totally out of work. Now, also it was close to a year that Dad was out of work. Mom stayed on a little bit longer than Dad, but she ended up stopping too, and, that was it. Now, Dad put in for work literally everywhere. Okay, literally everywhere. Not just his previous profession that he had done, but I'm talking McDonald's, Whataburger, Wingstop, Walmart. Shit that he's a very intelligent individual, and he's got certifications out the ass. Again, I can't tell you about any of them because of his work, because he doesn't want this out there, and I know he doesn't. But, it was close to a year, and our savings were dwindling down. A lot of people were like, nope, we can't hire you. You're overqualified. You're overqualified. Dad's like, I don't care. Please give me a job. And nothing for close to a year. And then all of a sudden, he finally gets a call back. And it's the same profession that he'd been doing. They called him back, and they straight up asked him about what had happened. And he was honest, and he told them, he said, here's what happened. La-da-da-da-da. They were doing illegal stuff. I tried to sue them. Didn't work. I left. That's why my wife left as well. He got hired. Well, that same week, My mom got a call. Same week. Okay? She got hired on somewhere. Doing the same thing that she had been doing. And they started on the exact same day. How fucking crazy is that shit? How crazy is that they get a call within the same week and then they start on the same day? I might be getting this wrong. It was either they got a call within the same week and they started on the same day, or they got a call on the same day and started within the same week. I don't know. It was something fucking crazy like that. And that kind of made Dad take a step back. And he was like, what the fuck? That's weird. So he stopped, started thinking about it. And he's like, you know what? I think there is God. So he started believing again. He came to me again and he said, hey, just letting you know, I know you came to me, a few years ago. Here's what's happening. That's too much of a coincidence. There has to be a God. So I say, okay. Now, Dad still does not follow any church, and I need to talk to him about that because he thinks, I thought this for a while too, he thinks that just doing good deeds, being a good person, is going to get you into heaven. Believing and being a good person will get you into heaven. That, obviously, as I've stated before, it's not how that works. And so I believe the same thing. I didn't really have any guidance. I mean, I just didn't put a whole lot of stock into, the church and everything because of what they had done previously. Not in my generation, but in previous generations with, the Crusades, with priests that molested boys, and, the church back in the medieval times, they charged people and said, oh, you pay us money, you'll be saved, blah, blah, blah. And that is stuff that the church did do. So I was like, I don't think I want to do that. But, anyways, so I start believing again, but it's still, it's not where I'm at now. So,